What's up, everybody? I'm back with another episode of the Muay Diaz Combat Pubcast. I said I'd be back with a recap of or a preview of the Eubank Jr. versus Benn fight happening tomorrow, UK time. I just got done watching the presser, and man, I have to be honest. Like, I love Eubank Sr., I love Nigel Benn, but Eubank Jr. and Sr. are just so intolerable sometimes. Like, the way they speak, what they talk about has nothing to do with the fight. And it's just, you can hear the people laughing every time that they put the microphone on them because they know it's going to be a bunch of fucking bullshit. Or as my English mates would say, fucking bunch of bollocks, lad. Fucking bunch of bollocks, lad. Like, it's all it is. It's all it is. And like, they asked Eddie Hearn a question, and anybody who watched the last press conference between the two, Eubank Jr. just kept talking over and over and over Eddie Hearn. Wouldn't even let him get a word out. And this is when the hitman, RIP, rest in peace, Ricky, the hitman Hatton, had just passed away, and Eddie Hearn just wanted to say some words about Ricky Hatton, and Eubank Jr. just would not let him speak. He just kept talking over him. Eddie Hearn called him an asshole, a prick, and Eubank Jr. was being a prick. He was being an asshole. But, today, all four of them were on the panel. You had Benn, his father Nigel Benn, you had Eubank Jr., Eubank Sr. next to him, and they gave Eubank Sr. the mic, and I swear to God, he went on this like 16-line soliloquy about, I don't even fucking know what he was talking about, to be honest. Like, I really don't. Like, and then they asked, he ended it with like Rastafari, and then they asked Nigel Benn, what do you think about that? And Nigel Benn was like a straight up dad, like a legitimate straight father. He goes, I don't really know what he said, and I really don't care. He goes, I'm here for my son. My son is boxing. His son is boxing. It should be about them, not about us. We had our time. It's about them. And dude, that's respect right there. Because every father knows that's what you should do. I just think Eubank Sr. can't help but be in the limelight. He just cannot help himself. If you put a camera or a microphone in front of that guy, he just can't help it. It's been on UK morning shows all week. He's been getting in arguments with Carl Froch, morning hosts. Like, he just can't help himself. That's just him. That's the way he is. And Eubank Jr. is almost the same way. He's so intolerable. Like, the way this whole entire press conference, he didn't even talk about the fight. He just talked about Eddie Hearn, what a scumbag he is, and how they need some type of shit work because he couldn't get his ambulance out of there and all this bullshit. And I'm just like, dude, you have a fight coming up. And Benn, originally I thought Eubank Jr. was going to win this fight. I'm picking Benn. I'm going to pick Benn to win this fight. And Benn made it clear. After I get done with you, I'm going back down to 147 because he wants to fight the Mario Barrioses, the Devin Haney's, the Shakurs, all the guys at 47, the Teofimos. All he wants to win a legitimate world title. Where Eubank Jr., he's at the end of his career. I understand. I get it. He wants to maximize the most money, especially in the English market. I get it. Believe me. I understand. But nowhere in this press conference was Eubank Jr. or Eubank Sr. trying to focus everything on the fight, promote the fight. They just kept talking about random shit. And Benn and Nigel Benn were like, yo, we're about to fight. Like, and Benn even said, respect to Eubank Jr. because he showed toughness that he didn't believe he had in the first fight. He showed grit. He goes, but we have to be thankful to our fathers. They're the ones that made this fight, this rivalry, what it is. They're past their primes. They're done. But we should pay homage to them by, respecting the fight game in fighting this fight. And then Eubank Jr. just goes and starts talking over him about Eddie Hearn again. It's like, they're so intolerable sometimes. And I wanted Eubank Jr. to win this fight because I thought it would be a potential great matchup for him and Canelo at 168 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium or Wembley. But I don't even think that's going to happen because I think Conor Benn's going to beat his ass. I think Conor Benn is going to win this fight. Earlier when I broke this fight down, they had Eubank Jr. at minus 138, Conor Benn at plus 150. Now the lines have shifted. Conor Benn is a bigger favorite at minus 170, Eubank Jr. is a bigger favorite at minus 170. Conor Benn has gone down to plus 135. The over-under is 10.5 rounds. Minus 150 for Eubank Jr., plus 110 for Conor Benn for the over-under 10.5. The KO-TKO ratio in the bidding lines are plus 190 for Eubank Jr., plus 220 for a decision for Eubank Jr., and plus 1,600 for a draw. On the other side for Conor Benn, plus 280 for KO-TKO, plus 450 by decision, and plus 1,600 again for the draw. I would not be surprised if Conor Benn wins a decision in this fight. Plus 450. I don't know if he's big enough to stop Eubank Jr., but he had moments in that first fight. He definitely had moments. He did more damage on Eubank Jr. in that first fight than Eubank Jr. had on Conor Benn. And it went to 12. It went the whole 12. So, 10.5. If Conor Benn fights smarter this fight, which I believe he will do, plus 450 or plus 110 the over at 10.5 is not a bad bet for Conor Benn. And plus 450 by decision is a good looking bet. Me looking at it right now, just the way the presser went and everything, and Eubank Jr. and his dad were both complaining about, him getting drained down and fighting at 160. He already fought there 4 times. That was his weight class. Conor Benn is the one that had to move up from 47 to 60. The same thing that fucking Crawford did. From 54 to 68. He moved 2 weight classes to fight him, and he almost beat him the first fight. So this fight, he's going to be less emotional, more technical. I don't know if that's going to help him or hurt him. But Conor Benn is a fighter. Eubank Jr. is coming to the end of his road. I truly believe it's going to be, he just took this fight for a last payday because he thinks he can beat the smaller man. I'm going to take Conor Benn. Conor Benn by decision, plus 450, and the over 10.5 rounds at plus 110. I'm going Conor Benn. I wanted Eubank Jr. to win just for the sole purpose that I thought it'd be easier for him to move from 160 to 168 to fight Canelo. But Conor Benn, if he gets his victory and then moves back down to 47, there's so many big names there, and coming off a huge victory like this would be amazing at 47. So I'm going to go Conor Benn, plus 110 for the over 10.5 and plus 450 by the decision. Conor Benn, give it to me all day. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, share with all your boxing fans, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace!